For most of my life, money was scarce. I was fed lies about money from a young age. Some managed to break free and achieve financial freedom by rewriting their money story. Trapped in the web of lies about money, I made countless wrong turns, but the moment I discovered the right map, the path to freedom became crystal clear. And here is how my money beliefs were changed over the years. When I was young, I just saw my dad on Sundays because he worked endlessly, and after my parents got divorced, I watched my mom struggle as a single parent for many years. Lucky for her, she met my now stepdad who was able to help her financially. Good for her, but till today, money is one of the biggest fight starters and worries between my mom and stepdad. When I finally started my apprenticeship and earned my own money, I remember I had nothing but money woes. I basically worked so I could pay for fuel to get back to work, and I only bought, for example, jeans when my old ones were really ripped. I started to work more than one job so I could pay my insurance of my car at the beginning of every year. Money was scarce to me, and I always told myself, I don't want money. I don't want to chase money. Money has no worth to me. And I convinced myself that wealth building was only for the really rich people. But things were about to change. 4 years later, after I finished my apprenticeship, I met my friend Max while doing my bachelor's degree. His dad was the richest man in his town because he owned an English sports car dealership. Funny though, Max said the same things like money has no worth to him, but he handled and thought absolutely differently about money than I did. And it started to affect me. Max always insisted on inviting me, and he barely let me pay for things when we went out together. So rich people are definitely not greedy. After getting my degree, I moved to Australia and landed my first well-paid job at Mercedes. Suddenly, I didn't have to obsessively check my bank account balance every day. With steady income, I felt a little bit like my friend Max, financially secure enough to be generous with others. I invited friends who weren't as fortunate to share in my new lifestyle. I understand now why MBA stars share everything with their friends. Unfortunately, many take advantage of that. However, after a year living lavishly, I met my now wife Lou, whose eagerness to save money rubbed off on me. I became more mindful of my spending. I cut the Uber Eats orders to once a week, and I tried to cook in bulk to save even more of my money. Looking back, I realized the belief that I'm just not good with money was a lie I had told myself for years to avoid taking responsibility for financial choices. Despite growing up with scarcity, when I finally had decent income in my mid-20s, I initially blew it through thoughtless spending like online shopping, getting Uber because of convenience, just to name a few examples. But Lou's influence helped me develop better money habits. The biggest shift in my money mindset came before I was planning to move to Canada and was off contract. I took some time off to spend more time with Lou. While she continued her normal work routine, I stayed at home with lots of free time. After weeks of boredom, I became curious if making money online was truly possible. I tried many different things and did extensive research. Truth be told, most of the get-rich-quick schemes out there are not worth your time. But this period turned out to change my mindset completely. I eventually stumbled upon the stock market. You know, the place which is rigged by evil politicians to make normal people like us poor. But is that really the case? No, but to give you a quick spoiler, I do believe that politicians are playing a different game. If we look at this graph, many politicians are having better performance than the investing legend Warren Buffett or Peter Lynch. At first, the stock market world seemed confusing and overwhelming, but as I found the right resources and guidance, my eyes were opened to the world of investing and financial literacy. I became obsessed with understanding finances on a deeper level. One of the biggest money lies I believed is that only a few lucky people can become truly rich. But don't take my word for it, take the word of the fifth richest man, investing legend Warren Buffett. His simple investing advice: invest consistently in the index fund like the S&P 500. To give you a quick explanation, an index fund is a basket containing 500 largest US companies, stocks like Amazon, Apple, and Tesla. By doing so, you're very likely to build substantial wealth over time. So, if Buffett's strategy is so straightforward, why don't more people follow it? That's exactly what Jeff Bezos was running as well. So he once asked Warren Buffett, "You're the fifth richest man in the world, and yet you have the simplest investment thesis. How come others didn't follow this?" To which Warren Buffett responded, "Because no one wants to get rich slowly." Yes, that's exactly the point. Investing isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. All these gurus with their rented Lambos trying to teach you. For example, if I invest $500 per month in the S&P 500, it will take me about 29 years until I reach $1 million. I know 29 years is in the far future, but it's the easiest way to my first million, and that's why finance gurus like Dave Ramsey claim, if you don't retire with $1 million, then it is your fault. Because with discipline, consistency, a modest monthly investment in a broadly diversified index fund can make you a millionaire over time. Growing up, I believed the lie that most wealthy individuals simply inherit their riches or got extremely lucky. It seemed that way when I looked at friends like Max, whose dad owned the lucrative sports car dealership. Yes, Max certainly had advantages, but as Dave Ramsey's research revealed, the vast majority of millionaires are self-made. They didn't just stumble into wealth, they built it through hard work and determination. Yes, Max was luckier than me, but his dad started from nothing. He started as a mechanic and built everything himself. And he passed those life lessons to his son from a young age. Max worked alongside his dad in the dealership's workshop since he could remember, and he took over most duties of the workshops and dealerships when we met. So, while Max benefited from financial advantages, his real inheritance was a mindset, a great work ethic given by his self-made dad who had hustled his way to prosperity. A sharp contrast to my previous beliefs. After years of immersing myself in the finance world and learning from successful entrepreneurs like Alex Hormozi and Naval Ravikant, I debunked numerous myths about money and wealth building. One of the biggest revelations: becoming truly rich isn't about being selfish, greedy, or corrupt. In fact, many of the wealthiest people achieved success through collaboration and lifting others up alongside them. In the entrepreneur world, most people don't get rich alone. Look alone at the PayPal Mafia. The PayPal Mafia was a group of early 2000 PayPal employees and founders. The members have all gone on to impact Silicon Valley by founding and developing major companies. The group includes Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Reid Hoffman, and the founders of both YouTube and Yelp. Rather than going it alone, they supported each other in founding and developing groundbreaking companies that shaped Silicon Valley. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, I met a local CEO who reached the million mark already, and he says the same thing. He wants to bring his closest employees and partners with him up where he is already and wants to grow together. So, no, most wealthy people do not step on others to get ahead. It's actually the opposite. They create opportunities that enrich their communities, not drain them. So, where does this lead me now? Anyone can rewrite their story by listening to the right people and reading the right books. That's why I quit my 9-to-5 to move to Brazil, to lower my expenses, to build here my own path in the entrepreneurial world. It is still in its baby steps, so I can't reveal too much yet, but I know I don't have anything to lose. Most successful entrepreneurs didn't succeed with their first idea either. J.K. Rowling got rejected 12 times. Henry Ford's first auto company went bankrupt. Colonel Sanders' chicken recipe, founder of KFC, was rejected over 1,000 times before a restaurant finally accepted it. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first TV job, and her first talk show was cancelled after just 7 months. We have to relearn the concept of failing. School taught us that failing is the worst thing in life, while in the entrepreneur world, it is all part of the game. And many entrepreneurs say they learn more from the failures than successes. If you avoid failure, you will also avoid success. Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Watch this video next if you want to learn how me and my wife Lou overcame the biggest relationship killer.